Success isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter, and that starts with building systems that let you save time, reduce stress, and focus on what matters most. Hey guys, welcome back to Mimir, the podcast where we explore the art and science of entrepreneurship to help you build a business and life that you absolutely love. Today, we are diving into a topic that has completely transformed how I work and how I manage my time as an entrepreneur, which is creating systems for success. If you've ever felt overwhelmed trying to juggle it all, emails, content creation, client work, finances, or just keeping track of your never-ending to-do list, you are not alone. And here's the thing. Success isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter, and that starts with building systems that let you save time, reduce stress, and focus on what matters most. So, by the end of this episode, you will walk away with practical strategies and tools to create systems that are tailored to your business and to your lifestyle. Before we get started, I would like to give a quick caveat and say that I'm currently recording this episode in my house, and a little life update. I got a new kitten for my beloved Cheesemoo, who has been my bestest friend for almost 3 years now. He's 4 years old. So anyway, we got a kitten in December and it has been amazing, but they have recently discovered playtime with each other. So this is probably like the 8th take of this podcast episode recording, because every so often I'll just hear like growling and rolling around and Looney Tunes style chasing each other around the house, which has been so fulfilling to see. And I'm enjoying every second of it, but I'm also like, can you guys stop being dramatic? I'm in the middle of recording an episode. So apologies in advance if you hear some random cat noises, but that is also very on brand for me, and any other cat people out there will probably be nodding their head and laughing. And if you're not a cat person, I apologize, but I hope you'll stick around because this episode is going to be jam-packed full of practical strategies and tips that I think can really help you guys. So, caveat out of the way, let's jump in. The first thing that I want to talk about is why systems are non-negotiable for entrepreneurs. When you are running a business by yourself, every single task is dependent on your success. So without systems, it's really easy to start wasting time deciding what to do next or reinventing the wheel every time you take on a new project. But the other key point to this is that even time management queens like myself, we have to be constantly reevaluating whether or not these systems are still working for us. Even for myself, I'm great with time management, but it became painfully clear to me when I started working on both Aura One, which is that super exciting top secret tech platform that I've been kind of like hinting at on the podcast recently, which I will talk more about that in the coming months because it's very exciting. But working on that and Mimir at the same time, it was getting really tough. Like I was trying to manage all my responsibilities essentially the same way I had been before my task load expanded. So it felt like I was trying to squeeze 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag, as my dad likes to say. It was chaotic and I felt like I was always behind. So if you are feeling that way, you also need to realize that if you want to grow without burning out, you need to get reorganized, which frankly, music to my ears. You guys, love me some structure. And yes, systems give you structure, but more importantly, what they do is they create space for creativity and innovation since they're freeing your mind from decision fatigue. In fact, a very interesting statistic says that the average person makes around 35,000 decisions in a single day. And that's a shitload. And so minimizing unnecessary decisions can significantly improve your focus and productivity. More importantly, systems allow you to scale. So when your business starts to grow, you're not scrambling to keep up with it. So now that you know why systems are really important, aside from the fact that it like feels good to have structure, I am going to walk you through 5 systems that you should have in place for solopreneur success. The first one that I want to start with is time management. As you know, I live and breathe time management, but if you're new here and you don't believe me, I have always been a multitasker. My senior year of college, I had a full course load, a part-time job, and I was writing and publishing my first book at the same time. And then when I was working full-time in China as a project manager, I was also getting my master's degree in entrepreneurship and writing and publishing my second book at the same time. I would never do this again because it was truly an insane time in my life. But the point is that I got everything completed successfully, so I feel very confident giving advice in this area. Also, if you need more about time management, I have an entire other solo episode dedicated to this topic, so I will be linking that in the show notes below. One of the biggest game changers in time management for me has been time blocking. I like to plan my week in advance, assigning specific tasks to specific days and in specific blocks of time. For example, Mondays are for planning the week out. I like to see what meetings I have and thus what tasks need to be accomplished by when. Also, I recently started waking up at 5 a.m. to have deep work sessions at the office an hour and a half before people start showing up. This not only lets me end my days earlier before it gets dark, which is much better for my mental health, but trying to work at night was like forcing myself to eat mint chocolate chip ice cream, which I hate. Basically, it felt like I had a full work day and then I came home and like kind of started to relax a little bit, but I was like, psych, you got to start working again. So, just switching up that system about how I work allows me to have better productivity. The point is that I want you guys to be able to create systems that work seamlessly into your lifestyle, which help you stay focused and avoid any potential spirals. Also, I sync my tasks and my projects to my Apple Calendar to keep track of all different businesses and my 9 to 5. Obviously, everything is color coded to be able to differentiate easily between projects and overbooking myself in one or more areas. The next system I want to talk about is task management, which is very different from time management. As a solopreneur, it is critical to have one place where all of your tasks live. For me, that's Notion. It's my go-to for everything, project timelines, documents, even personal goals. I like to think of Notion as my big planner. It has all the corresponding documents associated, so it's very easy to find things and stay organized. I got the ultimate Notion template from Grace Beverly's productivity method, and I swear by it. I will link it down below in the show notes so that you guys can also grab it. And all of that's digital. So for daily and weekly task keeping, though, I use a physical planner. The Notion template also has those things in a digital format if you prefer that, but I like a physical planner. First of all, it's cute. It's like a little leather folio from Day Designer. But the other reason why I really like a physical planner is just like, frankly, I like to physically write out my daily task list. Have the ability to physically task something off the list is more tactilely appealing to me. It just like feels more satisfying, but live your life. As long as you have some methodology of keeping track of high level, like here's what the goal is for the next month, and then you can break it up into smaller and weekly and daily tasks, you're good to go. Quick hot tip. If you struggle with prioritization, organize your tasks using the Eisenhower matrix. The Eisenhower matrix is a task management tool that helps you organize and prioritize tasks by urgency and importance. Using the tool, you'll essentially divide your tasks into 4 boxes based on the tasks you'll do first, the tasks you'll schedule for later, the tasks you'll delegate, and then the tasks you'll delete. It helps you separate urgent tasks from important ones so you can focus on what truly is moving the needle. The next system is workflow automation. I have finally gotten to the point where I can no longer move forward without automation. One of my big goals for Mimir this year is to implement more opportunities for automation in my workflow. I love tools like Zapier and Make. For example, something that I'm working on is to set up guest application forms. And using Zapier, whenever someone fills out my podcast guest form, it automatically saves to a Google Sheet so I can track and easily approve guests who meet the criteria. I currently do this now through a Notion template, and I have to manually key in every time somebody has interest in the podcast and keep track of that. It's not necessarily the best system, and there's an opportunity here for increased productivity and efficiency. So it's just one example, but Zapier has a million templates already built out for a million different business functions that could be useful for you today. Recommend thinking about repetitive tasks in your business like scheduling or file organization and see if you can automate them. It's like having a virtual assistant. If you're looking for an actual virtual assistant, Fiverr is something that I use all the time to help with things I hate doing for a very small fee. The only caution I would give here is to only use this for things that you truly cannot do yourself. For example, I would never offload outreach to anybody else because I personalize every single message that I send. I don't want to be known for generic asks. So if you're looking for somebody to help you take off some of the more like daily admin tasks on your plate, just make sure that they're things that you shouldn't be doing that would be worth your time, if that makes sense. Moving on. If you are creating content regularly, systems can save you so much time. Personally, I have templates for everything from email outreach to podcast episode outlines like this one. I also plan my episodes a month in advance. That way I can start working on solo episodes way in advance, as opposed to cramming them in if I don't have guests booked, which I know a lot of other podcasters do. If you are not using ChatGPT for content creation, you must be living under a rock. ChatGPT helps me plan content, create outlines and templates. It saves me literal hours and days so I can focus on only what I can do, which is, personalizing scripts, outreach, and larger scale planning. If you are looking for actual content creation tools for social media, Canva is unmatched with its templates and plug and play nature. I also highly recommend Rella for content management and tracking. I actually interviewed Natalie, their founder, and her product is so sick. I highly recommend this for any full-time content creators out there. This is going to be a game changer for you. The last system I want to talk about is money. It's easy to let this slip when you're busy. I am guilty of this, but I am almost 30 and it's about damn time that I have a legit system for tracking finances. It's just not a cute look to be this old and not know where your money is going. My recommendation is to block 30 minutes once a week to review income, expenses, and invoices. If you need a tool for this, I really like Mint because it's free and it connects directly to my bank account. It alerts me when I'm reaching the limits on certain categories for my budget, so I just simply don't have to think about it, which is how I would prefer to manage my money, frankly. High level takeaway here. All of these pillars are important for your business's success. You can add or delete as they seem fit for your business, but all I'm trying to get across here is that you need to have systems that support your business functions in order to allow you to scale and manage your time as efficiently and effectively as possible. All these systems are great, but they mean nothing if you cannot implement them successfully. In order to avoid feeling overwhelmed with all of this stuff, I don't want you to take away from this episode and be like, holy shit, I have nothing in place, and all of a sudden feel overwhelmed that you have to create all these systems. I would recommend starting small. Choose one area of your business or life that feels the most chaotic and focus on that. For me, it was definitely task management. Once I took a step back, threw out all my old systems and created new ones to better serve my current workload, everything else felt a little bit easier. I could identify items that could be automated, freeing up my mental capacity and increasing my creative thinking. So don't be afraid to adjust your systems as you go. What works today might not work 6 months from now, and that's okay. Do not take it as a sign of failure. See it for the growth that it is. It's incredibly exciting that you're expanding beyond your old structures. So my recommendation and advice would be to stay nimble and open-minded. Finally, make sure that you're making these systems a habit. Set aside time each month for a business review to make sure that all your systems are still working for you. I hope that this episode has inspired you guys to start building systems that work for you. Please remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress, and even small changes can make a big difference over time. I would love to hear from you guys. What is one system that you're really excited to implement? DM me on Instagram at @HiMaddieKelly or comment in the reviews. I truly cannot wait to see what you create. I live and breathe this stuff. It's some of my biggest passions is organization, task management, time management, structure, system, all that beautiful stuff. And if you found this episode helpful, please don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. Please leave a review if you found it helpful. It really, really helps. And share it with a fellow solopreneur who could use a little bit more structure in their lives. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week.